Test 1 2. Test 1 2. No, come on out. You guys come on out. All right. We're kind of improvising here. We appreciate all you guys for coming. I'm George, Leichtweis, Chairman of Board Retailers Association, and appreciate you guys coming to our retailer roundtable here. We got some excellent guests. Just real quickly, the Board Retailers Association, our whole goal is to educate independent retailers on surviving in business so that they can continue to be profitable. And as I tell everybody, so they don't have to go get a real job. So everybody's passionate about the sports that they're in, but they want to, continue to promote the different board sports that they're involved in, or lifestyles that they're involved in, and they may not know enough about business. So we try to educate them so that they don't have the pitfalls that I had as I was growing my business. Now, I started in 1979, and 45 years later, I started it all with $1,000, and I've been trying to make that $1,000 back ever since. So I'm still working on it, but I've made a few pitfalls, and I tell everybody that I probably lost enough money to pay for 3 college educations, living and learning early on. So if we can avoid a lot of those pitfalls, you have a chance to make a living in an industry that's a lot of fun and exciting. So with that, we got a great panel up here, and starting at the far side, we got Jeff Plattman from CohnReznick. They do a lot of consulting and accounting, and talk about how you can increase your margins and your profit. I've got Jaime Gassmann from Order Monster. They use a lot. We're going to be talking about AI a little bit later, and that's their kind of expertise and how to use AI to consolidate your ordering process so that you can be more efficient in getting the right proper product into your store. I've got Nachnani, who's an excellent retailer on the East Coast. So he's been in business how many years now? 33 years he's been in business down there at Coastal Edge. He does the U.S. East Coast Surfing Championships. That probably, how many years now? 20 years? Since 61? 61 years. And the events draws 100,000 people roughly?
So it draws anywhere from 20,000 to 200,000 depending on the year.
Yeah, and depending on the year and of course the weather, of course, and the waves and the rest of that. So excellent retailer on the panel here. And we have Coco Tihanyi from Surf Diva out in La Jolla. She's so smart that she teaches people how to do this, and you learn a comfortable way to surf and how to surf, and then you maybe get into it and start buying all sorts of product. So she's lucky enough to be in Southern California, where it's nice all year round. I'm from Michigan, where today's high was probably 35. And so with that, we're going to get started with a few topics that might be relevant to all you retailers out there. And I'm going to take a seat here and kind of just pose some questions to these guys, and start with the retailers. And I'll start basically, if I can, with D. I'll start with a look back to the positives as well as the challenges of the holiday season that we just got done with Christmas. I always said if it wasn't for Christmas, there'd be no sense being in retail. But D, how did things go at your locations this last holiday season?
This holiday season was wonderfully challenging. Overall, we were high single digits down. I think that the highly promotional atmosphere that we have been in, with many of the brands giving discounts at Black Friday and Cyber Monday, caused a few challenges, but there were a lot of positives also. We were able to create wonderful experiences and memories through our events. We pivoted online. Our online was up double digits. Our event business, where we do merchandising through different events in the holiday season, was up. So we needed to find different ways to succeed, and very proud of our Coastal Edge family in doing so.
And now Coco down in Southern California on the other side of the country, what was your experience at the holiday?
So for us as well, it's quite challenging when the brands do a lot of discounting in November, and customers haven't purchased all of their holiday gift items. So we really we were proactive, and we did a lot of private label, which did really well. We also really went in and did a lot of Christmas ornaments, which was a bit different for us. So aquatic theme ornaments and candles, things that really appealed to a lot of different customers.
No, I agree. I appreciate what you just said, and we at BRA did a whole meeting on private label and how important it is, and the vendors in this room that are supporting the BRA and increasing your private label. You as a brand mean more to your community than ever before, and we realized that through COVID, where everyone wanted to really feel closer to their community. And for those of you that haven't taken advantage of that localism, please do. There are plenty of brands in this room that can serve your needs and meet your minimums and really do an extraordinary job. And I love the idea of ornaments, and I'm definitely after the meeting going, or are those ornaments, do you have the dealer? Who was the dealer? What was the name of the dealer? Are they here at this show, Coco?
Yeah, some of them are here. One of them was American Gift. We did some really cute name drop ornaments with them. And then some local vendors that you can work with in your own cities, and they do seashell ornaments, really cute little hand done ornaments.
That's what I love about BRA, and that we're willing to share with other retailers. Like Coco told me about a small company called Pura Vida, and I was like, what is that? And I have no idea. And then I told her about a wonderful company, I think out of Florida, the Carolinas. I don't even know, I've been dealing with them for 10 years, called Cruise Jewelry. And then this morning, Burnside. I mean, all of these vendors really have helped us grow as retailers and have helped us in the over promotions. And I'm very thankful for those national brands that have worked with us for decades. But as all of us have had to transition through COVID, they have also had to transition, and some of them have been bought out, and they're really doing their best to grow into their next iteration. So we're all doing this together here at Surf Expo or beyond, and that's what I love about this community. Don't you agree, George?
Absolutely. It's we're all in this for the same reason, because we are passionate about the different sports that we promote, and mostly board sports, but it's a lifestyle as well. That I know when I first got into it, I went to Venice Beach, California, and I saw waves crashing in, girls in bikinis, Muscle Beach, and I was like, man, I want to bring this lifestyle back to Michigan. And so 1979 summer, I was out there. September 79, I opened my first store, and I haven't looked back since then, and I still enjoy it. Everybody's like, why don't you retire? And I'm like, I like what I do. It's the lifestyle.
George, it's interesting you bring that up, because this morning you said that you used to travel to California constantly to look at trends, and now with social media you can do that. But then you have the boys at TrackFly that talked this morning to us, and they can clearly show us all the trends, right from not a feeling of what they think or what they feel, but what they actually know from the POS registers of core accounts. And so that's really neat.
Yeah, and that, in segueing, we were looking back to the holiday, but also steps to take. One of the topics is steps to take to prepare your store for the spring and summer. And I was going to mention TrackFly does one of our associate vendor partners with Board Retailer Association. They assimilate a lot of information from various vendors around the country, and anonymously, they don't sell your information or anything like that, but they bring it in anonymously, and then they analyze it, and they give you reports that help you make buying decisions by and kind of seeing what the trends are that are hot. Now, I would still recommend going to trade shows. I like the face-to-face communication, the fact that you can meet a principal of a company here in person, but to assist you in making buying decisions, TrackFly does a great job with their product.
George, aren't they giving away like $1,000 Apple Watch?
Yeah. By the way, if you scan the card on the chairs over here, you can win an Apple Watch we're giving away at this event. Plus, we're giving away a lot of other prizes at booth 710, just to let you know, including like air pumps that'll blow up your inflatable stand-up paddleboard or your inflatable kayak, and they're like $100 ones. We're giving away like 5 more of those.
$169, I think.
Is it $169? Okay, yeah, more than $100. I know that, and then we have a lot of different giveaways from our different associate vendors as well. And now Jamie's over here, and she's with Order Monster. And speaking of technology of tracking what you've done and looking into the future, obviously each of us has like a face-to-face contact with our customers, but you can't be on the floor all the time. And as Dee was talking about, I always say knowledge is king, and being able to track your statistics, Jamie can address that topic for us.
Yeah, what I'd love to add to going back into spring and summer is now is the time to brainstorm where your problems are and what you can do about them, right? So technology can solve, I think, 3 buckets of problems. So if you sit down with yourself in 30 minutes, like book yourself time at a coffee shop and brainstorm, here are your 3 categories. One is, how can I get more data to drive better decisions? And we've had one example of that already. Another category of technology that you can think about is, how can I automate or make more efficient the things that I do that are monotonous? And that's something that Order Monster can help with, and that's something I can get to in just a second. The other way that AI can, or that technology can help you, is really bringing a vision to how you run your store, like managing labor, managing sort of like the ins and outs, the things that you have in Excel spreadsheets. How can we get those out of Excel spreadsheets and into the hands of other technology? So I'm sure that I'd love for you guys to come up at some point and say a little bit more about how the data drives decision making, if you'd be willing, maybe at the end. But Order Monster is a simple app that's $75 a month, and all it does is one thing that saves retailers hours per week. My local is Sunflower Outdoor and Bike, and they use this app. And sometimes when I message them to ask how things are going, they say, "Why aren't you charging more for this?" And what Order Monster does is, when you place an order from a vendor, any one of these vendors, often you get a PDF confirmation, but then you have to create a PO in your system, you have to enter new items. It's very manual. You're looking things up, and you feel like you can't hand that off to anyone else because you know where all the bodies are buried. You know what's new, you know what kind of weird listing it is. But we've created a software that just maps that PDF, you drop in the file, and all of a sudden a PO is created in your point of sale system. We're integrated into 2 point of sale systems so far and growing. So we're in Shopify and Lightspeed. And as we acquire new customers, we can hand jam it for you while we build the tech, while we build the API to make it work. So those are some of the things to think about when you're sitting down and really wondering, what can I do differently this year, so that you're not just rolling downhill and doing it exactly the same. You have to improve your margins. So what can you do just a little bit differently? And we'll circle back to that at the end of the panel.
And then we got Jeff down at the end. He, speaking of statistics and everything, this guy can help you be more efficient.
So adding on to the comments just now is, in the world where labor and time is short, these efficiencies are what people need to
Put the
use.
mic up to your mouth a little bit. Yeah.
In the work,
You gotta talk right into it. Almost kiss it.
All right, I got it. All right. So in the world today, when labor and time is needed for everybody, these items, products, efficiencies that she's mentioning are tantamount to success, because everybody's running 24/7. You don't have the right, probably force buying office. These are automating all these needs, and clients are looking to save every dime and nickel and try to raise prices because margins being squeezed. These are the kind of things that have to be implemented across the board, because our clients are all, a lot of them are suffering. We've had holiday was a little choppy, as you guys probably know, They have to squeeze every nickel out of every sale. So by automating a lot of these processes, they're going to spend more time on what's important as opposed to getting involved in all this paperwork that's not needed. So this process she's mentioning is tantamount to success, I think.
And Coco, now preparing for spring, do you have any suggestions on what you're kind of planning ahead for spring and summer this year?
So for spring, basically every year in like January, February, we kind of revamp the store. We look to see the aisleways, things that we can repaint, move fixtures. We have a lot of our clientele come in with kids, with strollers. So we make sure that everything is like appealing and give things a fresh coat of paint. Making sure that we have our open to buys figured out and how much to spend on swimwear and cover-ups and surfboards. So really, we do a lot of planning.
Dee, can I ask what you did to increase e-commerce by double digits? Because as we all think about what to redo this year, you got a secret?
Absolutely. I hired my wife and I told her to take over everything and she did it. No, in all sincerity, we hired we took it seriously, so we hired someone from our stores. We embraced our partners and asked them to give us the opportunity to sell on Amazon, to help us and teach us how to sell better on Shopify. And some of them responded right here in this room and gave us that opportunity. And it really supercharged our business. As it relates to spring, we aggressively go after our data and really listen to our floors. We have 7 locations in the Mid-Atlantic, and so we listen to our customers. We look at formats like TrackFly and try to understand new and innovative product so we can bring that new and innovative product, and that's why a trade show is so essential to our community and add communities to what we already exist. So whether it is I don't know, there's some really nice, different brands here. Last year we brought in Dark Seas, excellent brand. We're bringing in Rourke this year, excellent brand. But that exploration at this show and looking at who's busiest, Threads, Sunbums, all of them, excellent brands. But it's just being inquisitive, looking at the data, trying it in a small way, and then really aggressively going after it once you see the initial reads. And we still get it wrong. The trick is to get it wrong, to fix it and keep moving forward. And I think that's why our online has grown. And I love the idea. I mean, I'm not to take away anything from Order Monster, but if you all haven't downloaded ChatGPT, it's a godsend. I mean, you just download it, it's free, and you say, I screwed up, please write a love letter to Stephanie telling her how much she means to me, and it's amazing. I mean, but if you want to go further and say, look, I have a surf shop in the Mid-Atlantic and I want you to write me a marketing plan. I need it to be concise and I need it to have online, on air, on site, on ground. Go. It'll write you up a plan and you can just edit it and adjust it. It's like a genie in a bottle. It's wonderful. So yeah.
One question on that. On your online sales that went up, was it accretive sales or was it sales from the local market? Is that data available?
No, so how cool is that? 90% were out of market.
That's what it is. That's what I wanted to hear.
I was selling Nixon watches in San Diego, right down the street from them. I have no idea why. But then we started looking on Facebook, and during COVID, we started selling board shorts in California and in New York and regions that were locked down. And there was a thought process behind it, and with the ability to advertise into specific locations and really narrow down, and there's so much data and it's so easy to read, and they're making it simpler and simpler every day. You really have to be more thoughtful and think of your marketing as another component to bring everybody into brick and mortar and help your customers shop where they shop.
I'm a big advocate of social media and having the bloggers. Do you guys use in-house or do you go external for your social media?
I can't afford to use external, so we had to do it trial by error. I'm envious of all those, including my contemporaries that have thousands and thousands of followers. We just broke 10,000 and it took us 100 years to do so, it seems. But every post moves you in a direction, and that direction is up to you. So we'll try to make meaningful posts, and we'll learn from our mentors. Like she connects with the Girl Scouts of America. We have about 70,000 Girl Scouts, and we did a surf camp because she did a surf camp. We did a little badge with water safety, and we just learn and explore. But we definitely have it in-house, and I have people that are 30 years younger, 40 years younger than me, and we've got a little TikTok, and we try our best, and we've got followers, and I mean, it's just a lot of fun to learn.
So we've been talking about a lot of things like merchandising in your store, and I know as we came toward our Christmas holiday season, we took some of the same product that's been kind of in our store stagnating a little bit, and we just re-merchandised it all, and it looked fresh and new because it was in a different spot of the store. It was fronted a little bit differently, or folded properly in a different spot, and it looked like fresh product. And the holiday season is when you get more people, more traffic in your store, and they may not have been there the last couple months, and people were picking up a lot of items that we just re-merchandised in our store, so it helped out as well. And talking about the technology, you know, we're talking about opportunities to clear out old product and get new inventory in. And I tell a story about back in the 90s when I was thinking of getting a website when the web was coming out. I had my brother-in-law did Ford Motor Company's website, and so I figured he'd give me the good deal, the good guy deal on the website, and he quoted me $18,000 back in like 1998, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of money for the website. And so I looked at eBay, and it was $19.95 a month, and they already got a huge audience. So I got that, and immediately within a couple months I was at $49.95, and because I put more items on there, and I still have an eBay site. Of course, I have my own Shopify retail as well. And funny, I sell a lot of shoes in California, which is where I get them from. And they ship them to me, and then I ship them back out to California. So it's interesting. The whole internet thing's interesting. But the point being that having a presence online is important, and it also, I look at the internet as the new Yellow Pages. Now, I used to buy all sorts of ads all the way through Ohio. I'm in Michigan, so all through Ohio and Indiana, I buy Yellow Page ads all around the Midwest. Back in the day when you bought Yellow Page ads, and then now I don't buy any Yellow Page ads. And people go to your website, and if you don't have your product on your website, they think you don't have it. So you could have a bunch of product in your store, but if it's not on your website, people in town are going, oh, they don't have it, I'll go somewhere else. So it's important to have as much of your product as you can online. And so with opportunities to clear out product, do you have any way of getting rid of your stuff, Coco? Any tips?
So before answering that, I wanted to also say for the holiday season, one thing that we've done year after year is we invest in really pretty boxes, pretty gift wrapping, and we offer free gift wrapping with every purchase. It doesn't matter if it's a $3 bracelet, we give a really pretty bag with our shop logo on it, and it's worth every penny. People will come back, you have a 10-year-old that spend their allowance on a pretty gift for their mom, and grandparents that come in, and it's kind of like the talk of the town where, we have Tiffany's colored boxes. But getting to your question about extra inventory, what we try to minimize our sale rack, because we let the brands know if it's something a brand that we carry, can we swap it out for something in season, and if it's something that is our private label branded, we'll donate it to charities. We work with some charities in Haiti, for example, and we donate there. So I think it doesn't look that great all the time to have a big sale rack.
I think you have plenty of opportunities from one, talking to your vendors and stating that maybe you can work with them if you've worked with them for years on a markdown allowance, or do an exchange and a return. And if that doesn't work, you can do a great tent sale. You know, the website is great, and we have Kelsey who runs our website. She was on the retail floor, so she understands the customer journey. But social media is critical in this area, and those content creators can be high school students from your marketing classes, and letting your community know that you have a sale going on that weekend. There is if you have an app, letting everybody know on the app that you have an exclusive deal as being a part of your community or family for that weekend. I do encourage tent sales outside of the store, so that you're not so promotional when you go into spring and summer, and that you're promotional heavily now. So you have a sale sign on everything in January and February to get everything clear. But there are plenty of ways to get rid of that inventory. And then there's online, whether it's Shopify or it is Amazon. The challenge with that, though, is that the fees are so extensive that you may be paying them by the time you're done with selling the merchandise. So I think there's a multitude of ways. Just ask ChatGPT. I'm sure it'll come up with more ways, but yeah.
I actually have some clients who set up alternative websites for deals. So it's not going to be commingled with their main website. So customers know to go to the separate deal website, and they'll have these promotional items, and it's not commingled with the other brands. So it's a way to get rid of stuff, and it's 60 off, 70 off, but it's not going to filter the customers who want to buy new goods. This is kind of like the older goods. It just, marketing and social media gets you there. So it's just something he does, and it works.
Coco, I loved hearing that you were connecting with the Girl Scouts and hearing you talk about your charitable donations as well. I used to have e-commerce brands, and I could activate my community of fans, of people who really cared about the brand, to submit, promote, request the nonprofits that they care about to be connected to the store. And it's really a way to grow that community. And then the next time they want a gift for their mom, they will show up at your store because they saw you engaging with the community. So always highlight that, because it's not just for you, and it's not just for that organization. It's to make everyone feel connected locally.
And the big thing I'm seeing now, it's in the last several months, is my clients at the registers are going to say, we're going to take $1 from every sale and donate it to the local park or museum or something for the town. So people know when they go in the store, they're giving some money back to the community. It's right at the register. It's on the receipts and invoices, and obviously for accountants, we keep track of it separately. But it's a way to people see that when they're buying merchandise or any kind of goods, that some money's being sent back to the town or local communities.
I think it's interesting because cause-related marketing definitely does work, but what I have found, and at least through COVID, is that the way that Coco does it. So there's a genuine authenticity to her give back, where she's not asking for anything in return, and it's far more compelling. And I think Stephanie and I realized through COVID what was most important to us. We all got really close together without getting close together. We had a time to really think about what was meaningful, and we found fulfillment through give back. And so whether we were working with the American Red Cross or we were working with the local Girl Scouts, by the way, Girl Scout cookies sell at the end of February and go on till April. And so it's a really unique opportunity to connect and talk about surf cans. And then April is Earth Day, so all your sustainable products. And then May is Cinco de Mayo. And so you see these wonderful holidays, and you see these wonderful moments in time that you can communicate with your community, and you can cross-pollinate with your restaurants and your other events and experiences that are authentic to your cultural pillars, and you can celebrate life. And through that, you end up growing your business.
Yeah, by giving back to the community, it may seem like a lot of work, at times, and it's not like you're making instant dollars back or anything like that, but like they were explaining, goodwill in the community goes a long way in the long run. And it, for example, I've got a big indoor skate park that people pay to skate at. I've helped build 15 public skate parks that you can go skate for free. And I personally think everybody should be able to skate for free, just like they can play basketball or tennis. But in the wintertime in Michigan, if you want to come indoor and the lights are on and there's a little bit of heat, it's a couple of bucks. And people remember giving back to the community and not being selfish by trying to do something for other people. And a lot of those guys that are skating outside in the summertime come on purpose to my park because they want to support me because I support them. So that's a positive thing, being involved in your community. So, so we segueing into kind of a different topic, we were talking about, you know, how to reward your employees for the good work that benefits both the retailer and the employee. You know, obviously, anybody that's in retail knows it's really hard to get good help. And if you get good help, it's really hard to keep them. And like a lot of kids nowadays are like, you got to pay me this much, and if I actually have to do something, you got to pay me more. And we're lucky enough that we're in kind of a fun business, and if you run it properly, and I know these are great retailers right next to me, that your employees are going to be as passionate as you are about the products that you sell, because they know that you're in it for the right reasons. And so I wonder if anybody has something to share about what you would do for employees as far as compensating them. Do you have, I know in my store, we have, my store's Modern Skate and Surf, so we have modern bucks. And if you make a $500 sale, you get a $10 modern buck, that kind of thing. If you do something above and beyond, maybe you get a $5 modern buck, and the kids all save their modern bucks up. And then when they buy an in-store product, which they get a shop discount on, they put their modern bucks toward that. And then it's a benefit for working at the store, and being rewarded for doing something good for the store is always helpful for them, and it gives them some more loyalty. So I don't know, maybe Coco, you want to chime in on something like that?
So about 10 years ago, we started a program in the shop. It's called Areas of Pride, and it's 12 weeks during the summer. And each employee is assigned a certain area of pride. So it may be the shoe wall and the men's wall, or the kids area, or the swimwear, based on what their interests are. And every week we vote on which area of pride won. Basically, they all win through the summer. But you know, it's who would get the first one and the second one, and then for the prize, it's not. I realize that it's not the money. It's something in the shop that they really want. So it may be, okay, pick any of the shop, one of our shop sweatshirts or a speaker, and it works really well, because at the end of the day, everyone's pretty competitive, you know, and they all want to win and impress each other, and then they get extra points if they're off, or if somebody's been sick for 3 days or 2 days or a day, then their co-workers can actually work on their area and win again. So that seems to work for us.
I love that. I'm just writing down areas of pride. That's great. And then each section, no cups on the counter, just all of this stuff. It's interesting. So for us, it starts with the recruitment. So we have 10 core values. I got that from Surf Expo. Zappos, the gentleman, Tony Hish, talked about his core values, and we went back to our company and we said, what are our core values? And honesty, integrity, going the extra mile, a desire to learn and grow. And so we put our applications online, and then we go through, and then we sit down with the individuals that are coming into our company and say, do you have these core values? We don't care about your race, we don't care about your political views, we don't care about all those isms. What we care about is if your values match our own. And if they do, then come work with us, because we fire fast. We'll try to promote faster. But we start with that. If we get that right, then it's really easy to work with people that have the same value systems as you, because it's incredibly hard to convince someone to do something, because when you're there they'll do it, but when you walk out they're going to end up doing what they want to do anyways, because they're going to go back to their authentic values. So from there we look at 4 metrics. We look at average ticket sale, we look at units per transaction, we look at conversion, and we look at consistently trying to increase traffic, and we reward on those metrics and those metrics alone. So one day we'll say the person that sells the most to one customer, the person that socializes something, and so we create different combinations of that, and every day we have a reward, and it could be something, if it's a big day, a Yeti, whatever, to $10 in cash, or coastal bucks. I mean, but I think it's important to reward. And then what we'll do is anybody that has a X amount of sale, we have a group chat with every store, and we ask them to post it congratulating the experience, because it's not the sale, but the experience that they're giving to another human being that's most important. And so we found that that method lowers people from leaving, and that method retains people from staying. I mean, retains people to stay.
That's excellent, because you want everybody in your store. I always tell everybody that just having really good customer service doesn't cut it anymore. You have to have the most exemplary customer service, where the person walks out the door saying, I don't want to buy from any place else but this place, because they treated me like family. And people, I tell my employees, people come into the store because they made the effort to come all the way to this location to walk through your store because they're looking for something. You want to treat them like family, and a lot of our guys, I'm lucky to have the guys that I have, because you remember your customers' names, and in my case, because of the park, we know all the kids' names, and I call it daycare with something to do, and because we got all the kids, some of the kids live at the skate park and such, so it's really important to convey to people that you care about them as a person, and you're not just there trying to sell them something for no reason. And I tell my employees, I said you don't want to sell them something they don't need, but you want to sell them something, because they've come here and they made an effort to come to this place because of what we have. And so you do your best effort, and you work from that standpoint, and then we reward them accordingly. And I like what Dee was saying about, you know, we gauge units per transaction, dollar per transaction, dollar per hour. Those are the 3 main topics that I look at statistically to see if people are up to speed. And if somebody's below it, I don't yell at them or anything, but I'm like, hey, you know, you don't seem to be adding on any sales. Don't forget to remind people that if you buy a pair of shoes, you can get 20% off socks, you know, that kind of thing. And it's easy to add on a sale that way. So we do use some metrics and statistics to help identify the employees that are excelling and those that are not.
Right, but in a non-statistical way. The owners always tell me, they always say goodnight and always say thank you to the employees when they leave. They appreciate that. So that's not statistical, but it's something that makes them feel good when they leave the house, the office. I'm the same way in my office. Everybody, good night, have a good night, be well, be safe. It goes a long way.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more that it is a combination of commerce and culture. Really caring for that experience, the internal one with your employees, and then the external one really increases the retention of both your customers and your employees. And then you just need some good weather. That's it.
Yeah, I got to mention, up in Michigan, we had the least amount of snow in December in history last December, and I sell snowboards in the wintertime. And so needless to say, and it wasn't very cold either. It was still decently cold and kind of rainy and stuff, with 40 to 50, which is warm for us at this time of year. But the snowboard business has been a little bit slow. Not a lot of people buying jackets when it's 40 degrees out, you know, like winter coats to go out on the hill. So that's been a challenge, but there's some snow coming right now. So I always say, when it snows, I'm a genius, and when it doesn't snow, I'm a schmuck, and I owe everybody money. So you have to find ways to move your product. And one of the ways, just to touch on briefly, when things aren't selling in Michigan, because every 5 years or so we have a really poor snow year, I start when you use social media, I start marketing in Colorado and Utah, Northwest and Washington State, and actually in bigger states like Texas, down in Houston, and Florida. If a lot of people don't know, but the biggest ski shops in the country are in Florida. And why? There's no snow down here, but why? Because they get to go wherever the snow is. If you're gonna go skiing, you're like, well, it's not snowing on the East Coast, I'm going to go West Coast, or I'm going to go Rockies, or I'm going to go Tahoe, wherever the snow is. When they plan their ski trip, they're always going to have snow wherever they go, because that's how they plan it. And I was really surprised that some of the biggest ski shops in the country are all in Florida. And so that's why I advertise in Houston, because they're an hour and a half flight away from Epic Mountains into Colorado when it's snowing. So anyway, a couple little tidbits on if things aren't going good in your territory, search out a territory where your product might be viable and maybe market that on a social media platform. And then for Jaime here, this is her topic here, how to leverage AI, which Dee touched on a bit, and other retail technologies. And I thought Dee loved me, but now I know it's some computer that's sending me these love letters from him. I don't know, man. I feel kind of jaded right at the moment. But
it's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts.
And the initial thought was all mine. It just came out in gibberish into a machine, and then it was like Shakespeare started talking. It was awesome.
He's so eloquent. But how to leverage AI and other retail technologies, and I'll let Jaime start that one off.
Sure. So I build software companies and I advise and coach software companies, and I did a bunch of research before I came here because I was like, what are the cheap entry-level things that I can be recommending? And I'll tell you, a lot of them are built on big platforms, and they're built not for brick and mortar retailers. And it's tough out there. And I don't have a big list for you, and I think that means that D is right. D, do you like that? D is right. Let's everybody say it.
Wait, where's my wife?
Your co-pilot can be as simple as a very basic prompt in ChatGPT. And it doesn't have to be you, right? Like, I know there are a lot of owners here. You don't have to be the person at the wheel. I think rather than talking about AI, I'd actually love to wrap up talking about a culture of iteration, because it's been kind of a theme here. Like a culture of innovation and bringing your employees on to that journey with you. There are smart people working for you who can join with you on projects. I see my customers taking on too much and not doing value-added tasks that only they can do. So if there's a problem that you've brainstormed in your little brainstorming session, right, about where you feel stuck or where you feel things are repetitive, rope in a really great employee, right? Maybe they just won the month of the employee of the year. Give them agency to go chase something down. Like, go see if there's tech that could solve this for me, and if there's not, can we just come up with a system in Excel and ChatGPT that solves it for us? It's definitely possible, it's definitely within reach, and it's a free solution, and it builds that like leadership skill in your employees. So if you do a project every month that improves your store, if you're like, this month we're gonna think about this, and my plan for that is we're gonna run this experiment. That's how software companies get built. We run experiments, we have rituals that check in on them, and we divide the labor out, right? So how can you do that in your retail store to really sort of move the needle on each thing? Okay, now we're gonna think about our e-commerce sales coming up. It's August. What can we do to make a change ahead of the holidays? And if you map that out, I guarantee your business will look different at the end of December than it does in January. So, like, taking a hold of that and tracking it is maybe half the battle to thinking about how technology can help you, because otherwise it really will run you over and you'll just be doing operations and doing the same thing every day. So I love that culture has been the focus here. And if you can think about like the ways that you can improve culture, technology, people, community every month, that could be really, really powerful for changing your business and how it affects the people around you in the year.
That's excellent. Jeff, you got something there?
I mean, I agree with everything she said. It brings the employees into the different realm, different management. Maybe you find a diamond in the rough. You could be the next owner of the company. You don't know until you try, but you have to build a team because you can't do it all yourself. There's not enough hours in the day to do all that. And once again, trial and error, right? You may try it 1 month, it may not work. Next month, find something else, and it does work. It'll pay for itself very easily.
And then I want to mention before we do wrap this up is that if you guys aren't at a chair that has a bunch of flyers on it, you should take a look at them because they're our associate vendor partners. I know Burnside's got 20% off shop branded clothing at this show through the end of the show through tomorrow. In particular, that's a great deal. And there's some mints on there from CohnReznick that everybody needs mints at the show here after you eat one of those taco salads over there. And then take a look at boardretailers.org. If you sign up for free, you can get in, go by the track fly booth at 7-Eleven, and we're at booth 710. And you can win this Apple Watch, and we're giving away a lot of other products at the booth throughout the show. It's really worth checking into those things. And just to let you know, we don't spam anybody with all our email lists. We just send what we feel is relevant messages to our retailers, and we vet all of our vendors to see that they're an important associate with our businesses to help us be profitable in the long run. So board retailers, and also I forgot to tell the most important thing is we have free beer in the neighborhood at 4 p.m. We have a retailer gathering up there, so feel free to come by and you can meet these folks here as well as some of our other vendors and other retailers, and that have like minds, and you can pick our brains on anything. With that, is there anybody out there that has any questions at all? Or did we cover all the topics at 100% for all you guys? Excellent. Well, I want to thank let's give a round of applause to this great panel. Very educated retailers and associate vendors that help the retailers be successful. We appreciate all you guys for coming and paying attention to us. And we're going to go back to our show here. Tomorrow we got 11 a.m. Say something. At 11 a.m. we're going to go over a more detailed knowledge about the private label things that we went over this morning at our breakfast. That's what we're doing. So I want to thank you guys all for coming. We appreciate it.